Wife 44F cheated. I 45M filed for divorce when I found out and she tried to kill herself on New Year's Eve. Right, where to begin? The STBXW and I were together for over 25 years, 22 of those married. Prior to this, there were no infidelities or large problems. We have 4 children, a pair of twins, boy and girl 20 years old, a son that's 19 and our youngest daughter is 15. I filed for divorce mid-December and had her move out of our home and back with her parents. Got a lot of voicemail left and emails and even handwritten letters about how sorry she is about what she's done, but I never replied in any way. When it finally dawned on her I was really going through this and there was nothing she could do to stop it, she attempted suicide. In all likelihood, she would have died had her parents not stayed at home to keep an eye on her. From what I've been told, she tried to overdose on pills, but no one knows where she got them in the first place. Her infidelity apparently became fully physical only recently, late November or early December, but even before that she was emotionally cheating for at least a few months before that. I don't care to find out how long since it wouldn't really help me in any way. Since it was a married man with whom she had the affair, I'd notified his wife, so he's getting divorced too. Add to that, they're co-workers, which is how they met in the first place, and I assume they used work time to start the affair. For those that are going to ask how did you find out? The answer is I didn't. Our son and daughter, the twins, did. They saw their mother kissing with the other man, in public. The place in question isn't somewhere where any of us usually pass through, and then they proceeded to inform me. I started digging around and found more than enough evidence of a prolonged affair. I don't have many deal breakers, and believe that marriage is something that's a continuous work in progress. You have to do your part to keep it alive and well, but cheating is something that I absolutely will not overlook or forgive. To cheat is to take a acid on all the time you spent together, to take a dump on your shared lives. It's nothing more than selfishness and cruelty. I'm just telling you so you can understand me a bit better. Maybe, but that's a really reaching maybe, I could have tried to look past this if it had been a one-time thing and she immediately came to me, contrite and remorseful. But she wasn't. I mean, she only started sobbing and bawling once she got caught, and that to me is utterly worthless. It's easy to cry once your acid is put into the spotlight, but before all this? I've never noticed anything remorseful about her or any sign of guilt. I just can't live with someone like that. Thankfully, all of the kids were supporting and understanding when I told them I was going to divorce their mother. Our youngest cried more than I did, but said I was doing the right thing, for all of us. She did ask me if she could live with me. The other 3 already have places of their own, by their own choice, and I told her she didn't even have to ask. I think that's the best thing in this situation overall, just having the kids there showing me not all of those years being with my wife were a waste. Whatever she's like now, I can at least be grateful for our children, if nothing else. I love them more than anything. Unfortunately, nearly everyone we know, barring the friends who were my friends before they became the families, are trying to get me to stop the divorce and talk to her, go into counseling or some other nonsense. More so after the suicide attempt. Needless to say, all those people are on my asset list and I've cut all forms of communication with them. Sadly, that includes the in-laws, whom I've really loved before all this happened, since I'm an orphan myself and saw them as the family I never had. They tried getting to me through their grandkids, which has soured them on visiting their grandparents in the near future. The kids tell me they love them, but they just can't be around them at this time because they're being so overbearing. They've also chosen to distance themselves from their mother, though they're still in touch obviously. I'm in therapy myself, going through some counseling because for all that's happened I feel nothing. When I look back at finding out about all this, I see the lack of rage and hurt is very worrying. My therapist says I've numbed myself on purpose, to help me get through this easier. I don't know. Before all this, if anyone asked me how I felt about my marriage and wife, I'd probably tell them I was as happy as I could be, with a big smile on my face. Now? Nothing. When I heard about the suicide attempt, you might as well have told me the weather forecast for the day. I didn't feel anything. Not for me personally, anyway. I was angry, in a way, as to what this could have done to our children, but beyond that, her trying to kill herself just doesn't get a reaction out of me. I'm not happy that she's realized how much she's ruined our lives, but I'm not feeling any sort of empathy either. I can't. It's just that I look at the situation and think yes, and? How is that any concern of mine? I'm not like that. Or at least I don't think I was like that before all of this. And my therapist assures me the numbness will pass, it's part of the healing process, but here we are, more than a month later and I still feel nothing about what happened. I'm honestly not sure if that's good or bad. I'll just have to wait and see. As to the rest of my life, the friends that stayed true to me aren't letting me spend much time alone. They understand that I do need some time for myself every now and again, but they don't want me too alone. It all seems so different now, you know? Now, my main concern here is about our kids. For now, they're keeping away from her, of their own free choice. I didn't poison them against their mother or anything of the sort, they just don't want to talk to her much at all. Our youngest has been hit the hardest by her mother's infidelity, and I've been thinking of maybe having her go for some therapy too, if we can't resolve this on our own. This is what really bothers me about the whole thing, that our children reacted so severely to their mother's infidelity. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't glad that they did react negatively to it, because it goes to show that they understand that adultery is no small matter and that it can, like it has for us, destroy marriages and families. But I'm worried about long term. Will they get over this? Will they eventually form a tangible relationship with their mother? Will they heal? If any of you folks have been in any situation as similar as ours, please share your experiences. TL, doctor, wife cheated, I filed for divorce, she tried to kill herself, and our children have been hit pretty roughly by all this, but they've supported me all the way. What can I do to make this easier for them? What can I do to help them heal? Story 2. I'm 29M divorcing my wife 21F, she's having an affair with a married man and I found his wife. Need advice. My wife and I recently decided to divorce and in the process of figuring out custody, where we will live and how our girls will be taken care of. I discovered she already has another boyfriend. Let me tell you about this boyfriend. He is my age 29. He has a wife of over 7 years, whom he is still living with and 2 kids. His wife doesn't work and never has. He apparently makes a great deal of money and has promised my soon-to-be ex-wife the moon. He says he has served his wife divorce papers and plans to sell their house and use the proceeds to buy the 2 of them a house together in the next few months. He has told her he will buy her a new car in the same time frame. He tells her about his family's cabin up north. He tells her he will put away a college fund for my daughters whom he has never met. My wife, whom still lives with me in a separate room, swoons over him. She texts him non-stop. And when I mean non-stop, I mean almost 20,000 texts exchanged between the 2 of them last month. In fact, when she is home, she never leaves the same spot on the couch because her phone routinely dies and she needs to plug it in to continue to talk to him. In the last few days, I have been the recipient of most of the information regarding that man mentioned above and relationship the 2 of them are having. This information was given to me by my wife. It may seem weird, but I didn't know about then when I filed for divorce. Our marriage had been tenuous and we decided we should part on good terms with honesty and courtesy so our girls will not know a bitter mom-dad. I found out his name, the fact he has a wife, 2 kids, and more. She also informed me she intends to be engaged to him within the year and moved in with him by October. Our divorce won't even be finalized until January. I found out more information than I care to know about the money, the house, the college funds, etc. My wife also tells me that he served his wife with papers, but she is stupid, something she routinely says, and hasn't even hired a lawyer yet and will end up getting nothing in the divorce. I still love my wife, and despite the infidelity, I tried to get her to view things from my point of view. A well-off man of 9+ years of age older is promising her everything she could ever want. You get the picture. She swears this is not the case and it is absolute true love. I found the whole thing completely ridiculous. They've known each other for 3 months, so she claims, and while I wouldn't otherwise care what she does since we are divorcing, my daughters will have to be exposed to this man. Tonight I actually looked into everything, not because I want to save my marriage but because the whole thing stinks to high heaven and I worry about how this will all play out for my kids. First, I discovered the wife's name Facebook, and there are pictures posted of the 2 of them looking quite happy and obviously together as early as 2 days ago. In fact, her Facebook is a collage of the 2 of them and their 2 kids. No sign of discord. While this is not proof of anything, surely a stay-at-home mom, with no job and 2 kids, wouldn't post pictures of how happy she is with her husband 2 days ago when she was supposedly served with divorce papers 2 weeks ago, would she? Second, there is no record of a court filing under either name in our district courts. He told my wife he filed for divorce earlier than I did. I did a search for my case and it popped right up. A search for either of their names produces nothing. For the skeptics on this one, they both have very distinct names, so it's not a simple issue of a Tom being filed under Thomas. And I know the township they currently live in, so I know I am referencing the proper court. I have no idea what to do. I debated messaging the wife on Facebook this evening, if for no other reason than to find some answers. Have you really been served with papers? Do you know about the affair? Are you aware your husband and my wife laugh at how stupid you are and are banking on that stupidity in the divorce? I'm sure you can see where my mind is going. I don't know where my place is in all this. Should I even know her name? Should I say anything? If I were to say something, certainly his life may become far worse than it currently is, which frankly I don't care about. However, I am certain that my wife, the mother of my 2 kids, may never forgive me for saying something to her, especially if this disrupts her plans for this new house, car, life of luxury she is expecting, which it most certainly will. This of course could have a very terrible blowback on me and my kids. I'm at a loss. I think perhaps what happens in the boyfriend's divorce is none of my business and I should stay out of it, but at the same time, if my wife were going behind my back for months, I would certainly want to know from someone. And I also need to look out for the welfare of my own children here. In short, help. TL, Doctor, my wife is dating a married man and I have discovered inconsistencies in the story and discovered his wife's identity. Do I contact her?